Welcome to the Rehearsal Assistant app for handbells overview. In this overview, we will show you some of the ways that you can use this app to help you maximize your rehearsal and concert experiences, as well as help librarians, equipment managers, musicians, and the artistic director with their tasks. Features like a complete music library system, an instrument inventory system that includes unique properties for handbells with case, mallet, and singing stick pairings for each set. An event listing for scheduling rehearsals and concerts. Each rehearsal and concert have its own order of repertoire and special notes. For the musicians, it helps them prepare for rehearsal, as well as give them any position or bell changes after each piece. It solves many annoying problems during the rehearsal, such as forgotten mallets, chimes, or ancillary instruments. Let me show you a quick demo of how it is used. It does not matter if it is a rehearsal or a concert. It is the same process. A ringer arrives at the rehearsal and logs into the app, selecting their ensemble and name. After the login completes, the ringer will be presented with a list of events. They tap on the rehearsal or concert. For this example, the director set up a rehearsal event and selected the repertoire and order of the rehearsal. The first order of business is to get all the instruments out of their cases and distribute them to the first position needed. They tap the menu button and tap Initial Handbell Setup List. You will see a list of color-coded cases and the case name. Each bell, mallet, or instrument in this case is listed with its name and initial position. Note that some of the bells are parked or not played on the first piece. You can place these instruments out of the way, but available when needed. It also shows how many bells are in use and how many can remain in the case. No need to clutter a position with bells that won't be used. You can also print this as a report by tapping the menu button and selecting Event Initial Setup Report. The report will be rendered so you can see what it will look like. You can then print it to a printer or save it to a PDF. We click back to the repertoire page. With complex setups, we want to make sure the instruments made it to the correct position. As a double check, especially for concerts, tap the Menu button, select the Position Inventory button. This will give you what each position should start with at the beginning of the rehearsal or concert and whether it is parked or in use. The case that it came from is also displayed. You can also print this as a report by tapping the Menu button and selecting Initial Inventory Report. The report will be rendered so you can see what it will look like. You can then print it to a printer or save it to a PDF. When that is all complete, tap the back button until we get back to the repertoire page and then select the first piece that will be rehearsed. You now see a visual layout of the bells, mallets, and any other instruments on your table. The title, current position, the next position played, and the next selection are displayed. All the items in this layout page can be moved around to mimic their position on the table and can be saved for the next time. There are also menu selections for sending a rehearsal message to the director, looking at other ringers' positions, adding bells or instruments, deleting or moving bells or instruments, making a note for their position, and many other options that you can discover in the ringer training video. Each instrument, a bell in this case, shows on the top where it came from and on the bottom where it goes to if it happens to move. When done with this piece, move any instruments. Look to see where your next position occurs, then tap the right arrow to go to the next piece. This process continues to the end of the rehearsal. Now let me log in as the conductor and show you rehearsal notes and how they work. The job of a director is to make sure enough time is spent on what you want to accomplish. In this example, we have already set up the rehearsal, but decided to change the order at the last minute. We simply drag the item to where we want and save the order. This will automatically change all ringers' order as well as the setup sheets. Tapping the rehearsal item again, we notice that each piece has a modified start and end time. This timing is based on the length of the piece and the amount of time scheduled at a rehearsal as a default. You can, of course, override this timing as needed. Let's start the rehearsal. Rehearsal notes for each piece can be added by the director or any ringer. Let's add a rehearsal note. Tap the Add label. This will display a page that you can quickly edit and save. We want to rehearse measures 15 through 25. Our note is to run this section till the bass bells are perfect. We save the note. We now see that the note is on our list of sections to work on, and I adjust the order that I want to rehearse. Just drag and drop. You will notice that there are two sections to the notes: the active notes and the archived notes. Once you have rehearsed this note and don't want to rehearse it again, swipe it to the right and it will be archived. If you need to do it again at the next rehearsal, just leave it. If the note was archived and you changed your mind to work it again, swipe it to the right and it will move it to the active list. What is advantageous about this note system is that the next time you pull this piece out to rehearse, say in a year or so, you have the rough spots already isolated. If you remember, in the ringer view, there was a menu button to send a note to the director. When the ringer adds a note, it shows up in the active list. This process continues until the end of the rehearsal. I hope that you will take the opportunity to dive into the tutorials for Rehearsal Assistant, so you have an idea of how to set up, administer, and ultimately work this tool into your organization.